Hi guys, this is Chiquita Robertson, and in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 moves to protect your paycheck. So as we all know, AI is changing jobs in 2026. Newsflash, AI is here and it's not going anywhere. AI may not replace your job on tomorrow, but it is changing what job security looks like. And if you're still depending on one paycheck with no plan and no updated skills, this is time to get strategic. So, on today, I'm going to share with you 5 points that will help you in this process. So, point number 1 is to audit your job. What parts of the work that you do, your job, are repetitive, they're predictable, or even easily automated? Those are things that companies are looking at to really automate, to allow AI to take over those job functions. And if you find yourself in that position to where the majority of your job is repeatable, is predictable, it can be easily automated, then you need to find another job or you need to make yourself more valuable. You need to be able to dive into work that cannot be easily automated, work that is not really repetitive. It takes thought process. Many times people want easy jobs, easy money. Those days are gone, okay? You need to focus on making sure that you're adding value. Think about it. Why would a company pay you a salary of 40, 50, $60,000 a year when they can get AI or a robot to do that job with less complaints, no time off, less bickering, no raises? Why wouldn't they do that? Think about it. So take the time to audit your job. If a big percentage of it is repeatable, is repetitive, or easily predictable and can be easily automated, then you need to look at something else. You need to look at sharpening your skills. You need to look at adding more value to the work that you do, diving into things that most people don't want to do. Those things that people, steer away from, the problems. I remember when I would go into a job and I learned to embrace this. I used to feel like I was being picked on when I would get the worst work, the brunt of the work, the stuff that was really messy. And it took a lot of thought process. I used to get so aggravated on that work and those jobs being placed on me. But when I started embracing it, I realized, hey, I have an anointing for it. Most people don't want these jobs, but I thrive in it. Learn how to thrive in solving problems. Learn how to thrive in taking on the challenges that come, the things that most people don't want to think through, they don't want to work through. Begin to embrace those opportunities that come to you. So, audit your job. What parts of your work are repetitive, predictable, or easily automated? And let's say 30 or more percent of your job is like that, then you need to consider what other talents, skills, and value you can bring to your job, to the position that you do. Point number 2, learn how to use AI in your current role. Do not wait for your employer to train you. Start learning how to use AI to write, research, organize, summarize, plan, and even improve productivity. Remember the saying, the early bird catches the worm? Be one of the first to embrace it. Don't shy away from it, because whether you realize it or not, this is where things are going. So you can either resist it and be left out, or you can embrace it and begin to thrive. Be one of the first to be able to speak up, to be able to not just be trained, but to be the one doing the training, the one doing the researching, learning how to utilize these tools. Because one of the things that's been going around lately is, AI, it may not replace your job. It may be people that are learning AI, that know AI, that are using AI that may replace you. So learn how to use AI in your current role. Point number 3, start documenting your value. It's not enough to say, I work hard. Start tracking outcomes, savings, improvements, problem solved, and results. When you do this, when you are able to identify the value that you bring to the table, these are things that you can speak to. Because sometimes your boss doesn't know every little single thing you do. They may not realize all of the problems that you solve. They may not realize the things that you do to make the job easier, to make things run more smoothly. This is on you. You have to be your biggest advocate. I always tell people, beef up your resume. Make sure that your resume should have 2 things on it. It should show that you can lead, and it should show that you are able to drive results, that you're a problem solver, that you can get results. And these may be things like helping to reduce the error rate, improving the success rate of a particular process, documenting a process. Talked about leading. You may say, well, I've never been a leader. I've never managed people. Look, The very first person that everyone needs to learn how to manage is yourself. If you can manage yourself, if you can lead yourself, if you can problem solve, lead a project, there's leadership skills in everyone. It's just about how you display it. Make sure that your resume speaks to those leadership skills. Have things like, I led this, I managed this, I was able to oversee this, supervise this. You may be leading and supervising processes or projects, may not necessarily be people. However, make sure that your resume displays those leadership capabilities, those leadership skills on your resume. Make sure that your resume is displaying the results that you can get, the process improvement, the improvement that you can drive, the value that you can bring to the table. Your resume needs to show this. So make sure that you're documenting your value, not just on your resume, but even when it comes to annual reviews. Make sure that you're keeping a list or a folder documenting the things that you do throughout the year so that you're not waiting at the end of the year or the beginning of the following year to say, okay, what did I do? What did I accomplish? You already know what it was because you have the documentation. You've taken note of it. So make sure that you're documenting your value, okay? One more point I want to add to this is that I talked about leadership. Whether people say it or not, whether hiring managers say it or not, they always want to hire a leader, someone who can easily step into a leadership role, someone who's able to lead themselves and don't have to necessarily be micromanaged. Okay. So make sure that you're documenting your value. And so, point number 4 is strengthen your financial foundation. Before chasing a big business idea, look at your emergency fund, your debt, your expenses, and your income gaps. Many times people want to dive into, okay, this next big business idea, or take this amount of money, invest in this, when in actuality, you really need to do a financial health checkup. You need to see how well are you when it comes to your finances, the wellness of your finances. Do you have an emergency fund? If any of you have been following me for some time, you know that I heavily believe at a minimum, most people should have at least 3 to 4 months. Some people say up to 6 months emergency fund. I'm a big advocate in having at least a year. Yes, 12 months of an emergency fund saved up. And that emergency fund consists of all of your expenses. Now, most people, to make it easy, 12 months of their salary. But I know that's pretty hard for some people to do. Not that it's impossible to do, but I know it could be a little tough. But what you can do is add up 12 months of your expenses and add a cushion to it, because we always know that things come up. And when I say your expenses, not just your hard bills, your car note, your mortgage, your rent, your utility bills, those things, but also food, gas, insurance, the things that come up, the things that you pay out. Now, most people, everything that you're paying out, if you live check to check, 9 times out of 10, you're probably spending on some pleasures and different things like that. But make sure that you have at least 12 months of your expenses plus some cushion. That cushion may be an extra 10, 20, 30% added on top of that. And if you're like, okay, I don't know what, my expenses are, go back. Look at every account that you pay money out of. Look at your checking account, your Cash App account. Look at, anything that you pay money out of and begin to track your expenses. That's a great way, a great habit to get into is to track your expenses. All right. So strengthen your financial foundation. And the best way to do that is to build an emergency fund, to begin to look at the expenses that flow out, the income that comes in, because you may take a look at it and say, hey, I don't have enough income coming in. And this is where you're able to identify income gaps. And this leads me to point number 5, which is build a second skill-based income path. Not necessarily a huge business yet, but one skill, one offer, one problem that you can solve that people are looking for. There's so many things that you can get into. You may say, well, I don't have any special skills. You know how to do something, okay? Whether you work on cars, whether you're a baker, whether you babysit, whether you are great at organization, whether you are a great assistant, there's something that you can do. You may be able to even do hair on the side. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of kitchen beauticians out there. There's something that you can do that you can add value to that someone is willing to pay for, because an extra few $100s a month adds up. And that extra few $100s a month turns into thousands over a year. So build a second skill-based income path. And I'm going to be sharing more details into how you can do this in other videos. So make sure that you're tuning in, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. And I want to wrap all of this up with a particular scripture. And it is Proverbs 22:3. So I'm going to read you 2 versions of this. The New International Version, which is, the prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Now, another translation of this, another version is, the New Living Translation, and it is, "A prudent person sees danger and takes precautions. The simpleton goes blindly on and suffer the consequences." All right. Proverbs tells us that the prudent see danger and take refuge. That does not mean that we live in fear. It means that we prepare with wisdom. So if this has helped you, I will be sharing more about how to stop depending on one paycheck and to start thinking more strategically about your income, your skills, and your future. All right, guys, I hope this video has been a blessing to someone. And until next time, you all be blessed.